From Music City, USA, it's Ralph Emery on the Record. Featuring Reba McEntire, Vince Gill, Tammy Wynette, George and Barbara Bush, Brooks and Dunn, Dolly Parton, Lori Morgan, Barbara Mandrell, and Mel Tillis. Join us while we take a look back at never-before-seen footage from On the Record. And here's your host, Ralph Emery.
Good evening. In the spring of 1994, when we began the Ralph Emery On the Record series, we really didn't know what to expect. We weren't at all sure how you, the viewing public, would react to an hour show devoted to talking with just one guest. We were afraid you might get bored and change the channel to something else, but that has not happened. The series has consistently had some of the highest ratings on the Nashville network. Overall, I'm very proud of the entire series. But television is a very demanding medium. We are given a precise number of minutes for the program, and it cannot run too long or too short. In each case, we were having so doggone much fun that we taped a longer interview than we anticipated. As a result, there are a lot of truly wonderful moments that we have captured on tape, but which we simply did not have time to show you. Well, tonight, we're going to try to correct that, at least in part. We've gone through all the shows and gathered together the very best of the material that was not previously shown. And that's what you're going to see in the next hour. Our first show was with Reba McEntire. And the fact that Reba agreed to do the show was very important to the whole series because she was one of the biggest stars in country music. It gave our new show immediate attention. When I told her about the new series and asked her if she'd do it, she never hesitated. She said, sure, she'd be happy to. Now, Reba had her book, Reba, My Story, coming out about the time we taped the show. And so just before we went on stage, I asked her, is everything in this book fair game? She said, sure it is. Well, we had a lot of trouble deciding which stories to include in the original show on Reba. And when we were putting together this show, I'm afraid we had the same problem again. But we finally decided on this story where I asked her about that infamous dress that she wore on the CMA Awards show in 1993. What about the dress? Everybody asks you about the dress. The famous dress you wore at the CMA Awards 1993.
Oh, you mean the red dress?
Yeah, that dress.
That dress. That dress, yeah. Uh-huh. What do you want to know about it?
I wanted to know if this was a good idea that sort of got away from you.
Well, you know, I got more press off that dress than if I'd won Entertainer of the Year.
Did you tell someone you had it on backwards?
Yeah, I told lots of people I had it on backwards. Yeah.
Did you give anybody a preview of this dress before you came out on stage?
Sandy didn't even give me a preview until about an hour. No, it was like 20 minutes before the show. When the week before, we were at the office, and she was doing a fitting. And the sequins were about right here. And so I said, well, let me go show it to Narvel. And Narvel, now, Sandy, you are going to fill that in, aren't you? She said, oh, sure, of course. And so 20 minutes before the show started, the CMA Country Music Awards show, before it started, and I was real close to the top, Linda, we're going to sing Does He Love You? And Narvel walks in the dressing room, and this is the first time I'm putting the dress on, and Narvel goes, and I said, what? He said, well, Sandy, I thought you were going to fill this in. She said, oh, we did quite a bit. He said, I don't think quite a bit. I don't think enough. And I looked in the mirror, and, you know, the dressing rooms here, you know, the lighting is just not real vibrant. But I looked, I said, it covers everything. And I just turned around and walked on out to the stage. What was so funny, Chris Christopherson walked past me. And, of course, his eyes got big, and I thought, I wonder if she did fill it in. So anyway, I got on stage, and when I walked out, I heard everyone, and I didn't dare look down, you know. But Mama said, after we met back at the office after the show, we was all going to meet up and then go to the MCA party, and Mama told me later, she said, Susie leaned over to me. Susie was in the audience with her husband, and Mom and Daddy were up in the audience. And so Susie leaned over to Mama and said, "Oh, Mama." And all Mama said was, "You need to put a few more sequins in there." That's all she said.
Was Narble shocked?
Yeah.
Did he say anything after you came off stage?
Yeah.
Would you like to share it with us?
No.
Okay. Boy, I would love to have been a fly on the wall there. You know, I'll always be grateful to Reba for getting the series off to such a good start. For our second show, we decided to give